In a world ruled by deception, one man vows to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. You think you can hide from me? For Detective Marlowe, the hunt is personal. This city has no room for secrets. Why are you doing this? Because I know the truth, but as the walls close in, the hunter becomes the hunted. How far will I go to destroy myself? This January, truth has a price. The first letter arrived on a drizzly Tuesday morning, a harbinger of the chaos that would soon engulf Marlowe's life. He spotted it immediately as he sifted through the stack of mail on his desk. The envelope was plain, devoid of any return address, and sealed with a precise, almost mechanical neatness. His name was scrawled on the front in bold, sharp handwriting that sent a chill up his spine. There was something deliberate about it, something unnervingly personal. Inside, a single sheet of paper bore the chilling message: "Stop digging or you'll regret it." The words, clipped and cold, were typed, leaving no clues about the sender. Marlowe's hands tightened around the letter, his mind racing. This wasn't the first time he'd faced threats in his career. But this felt different. Personal. Targeted. He read the message over and over, his pulse quickening. The faint hum of the precinct faded into the background, replaced by the pounding of his heart. His instincts told him this wasn't a bluff. Yet rather than instilling fear, the letter ignited a spark of defiance deep within him. They wanted him to stop. That meant he was close. Closer than he'd ever been. By the end of the week, the threats had escalated. Notes were slipped under his apartment door, cryptic and taunting. Anonymous texts lit up his phone at odd hours, each more ominous than the last. "You're being watched," one read. Another warned, "Your crusade ends here." Each message sent a shiver through Marlowe, but none shook his resolve. Instead, they fanned the flames of his obsession. The breaking point came one rainy evening when he found his car vandalized. The windshield was shattered, the phrase "stay out of it" spray painted in bold red across the hood. Marlowe stood in the downpour, rain mixing with the heat of his fury as he stared at the words. The sight didn't deter him. It hardened him. He drove to the precinct the next morning, with the spray-painted words still emblazoned on the vehicle, a badge of his unyielding determination. Lawson cornered Marlowe in the precinct's break room one afternoon, his face a mix of frustration and concern. "Marlowe, we need to talk," he said, his tone firm but tinged with worry. Marlowe barely looked up from his coffee, his mind already consumed by the latest lead he was chasing. "Not now," Marlowe muttered, brushing past him. But Lawson grabbed his arm, forcing him to stop. "Yes, now. I've let you spiral for weeks, but this has gone too far. Your obsession with this gay club is making you reckless. And now you're getting threats. Do you even hear yourself?" Marlowe yanked his arm free, his expression darkening. "I'm doing my job. Someone has to." "Your job?" Lawson's voice rose, his frustration spilling over. "Your job is to uphold the law, not to play moral crusader. You think you can cleanse society by going after these people? This isn't justice, it's a vendetta, and it's going to destroy you." For a moment, Marlowe's resolve wavered. He saw the sincerity in Lawson's eyes, the genuine concern of a partner and friend, but the fire burning inside him wouldn't be extinguished. "If I back down now, they win. Don't you see? They've infiltrated everything. The council, the precinct. If we don't act, who will?" Lawson's shoulders sagged, his voice softening. "You're not fighting corruption, Marlowe. You're chasing shadows. And you're dragging us all down with you." Marlowe's jaw tightened. "If you're too afraid to stand with me, then step aside. But don't try to stop me." Lawson shook his head, defeated. "You're going to get yourself killed? And for what?" Marlowe didn't answer. He turned and walked away, leaving Lawson alone in the break room, shaking his head. That night, Marlowe pored over his growing collection of evidence in his dimly lit apartment. The threats had only hardened his resolve. He was convinced now, more than ever, that the club was part of something larger, something insidious. The cryptic symbols, the coded messages, they all pointed to a secret network that reached deep into the city's power structures. As he worked, his phone buzzed with another anonymous message. "Last warning. Walk away." Marlowe's lip curled in disdain as he deleted the text. He wasn't about to be intimidated. Suddenly the lights in his apartment flickered. He froze, his heart pounding. The power cut out completely, plunging the room into darkness. A moment later, his phone buzzed again. This time, the message read, "We're closer than you think." Marlowe's blood ran cold. He grabbed his gun and crept to the window, peering out into the night. The street below was eerily quiet, the shadows seeming to shift and move. He couldn't shake the feeling that someone was watching him. The next day, Marlowe arrived at the precinct to find his desk ransacked. Papers were strewn everywhere, files missing. A single sheet of paper was left in the center of the mess. It bore the same typed message as the first threat. "Stop digging, or you'll regret it." He stormed into the captain's office, demanding answers. But the captain only looked at him with weary eyes. "Marlowe, you've been warned. Maybe it's time you listen." Marlowe's voice shook with anger. "You're telling me to stand down? After everything I've uncovered?" The captain sighed. "I'm telling you to think carefully about what you're doing. You're not invincible, Marlowe. None of us are." But Marlowe couldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. As he left the office, his resolve only deepened. The threats, the warnings, even the danger to his own life, none of it mattered. He was convinced that he was the only one standing between society and chaos. That night, as he sat in his car outside yet another potential Leeds residence, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. A shadow moved in the corner of his vision, and he turned, his hand instinctively reaching for his gun. But there was nothing there. Yet. Marlowe's grip tightened on the wheel as he stared into the darkness, his mind racing. The line between the hunter and hunted was growing thinner by the moment, and he was teetering on the edge. Somewhere in the shadows, his enemies were waiting. And he was ready to face them, no matter the cost. Want to know what happens next? I won't spoil it for you here. You can dive into the full story in this amazing ebook. It's packed with twists, suspense, and a conclusion that will blow your mind. The full story is waiting for you. Just click the link pinned in the comments section and grab your copy. You'll be glad you did. So, what are you waiting for? Unlock the full adventure now, and let me know what you think of the ending. It's unforgettable. And that's where this episode ends. But trust me, the story is just getting started. In the next part, things take an unexpected turn, and secrets you never saw coming will be revealed. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, so you're the first to catch the next episode. And if you're as hooked as I am, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Got any theories or guesses about what might happen next? Share them, I'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of The Gay Hunter. Until then, stay curious and stay tuned.